Hello everyone and welcome to the first course of the Programming in C with Linux Professional Certificate.
Are you a beginner in C? That's fine. This course is for you. We designed these 3 weeks of Introduction to C Programming for you. We created a course that is as interactive as possible. You'll have many activities that help you practice what you learn and let you monitor your progress on a set of microskills. You will therefore see an updated, detailed list of the skills you'll acquire throughout this MOOC.
You may ask yourself, what do I need to take this course? Do I have to install any software on my computer? The answer is no. Everything will be done in your browser. But ideally, you'll be using a computer with a real keyboard. This indeed will be much more comfortable for learning how to program. I would even say that for professional developers, this setup is essential. You will use special characters on your keyboard, such as braces, brackets, the pound sign, the vertical bar. Yes, there is a vertical bar. It is called pipe also. And the ampersand character. I love that one. As there are a multitude of different keyboards, we will help you find these characters on your own keyboard at the beginning of the course. So do not worry, there is an activity that will guide you.
You also need to have a recent enough browser to use our tools. We recommend the latest version of Firefox, Chrome, or Edge. And then you'll definitely need paper and pencil to solve some of the exercises.
Last tip, get involved in the learning community. You are not alone, so rather than getting stuck or ask for help on forums, use social networks like Facebook, Twitter, help others by answering questions and making constructive comments. Create meetups or events to get together in person, and so forth. It's more fun to be part of a real group of people learning the same topic. In short, it is your involvement that will guarantee your success.
Here we go. Let's code together. We need to familiarize ourselves more with the keyboard and the special characters that are often used in programming, especially in the C programming language. So let's look at our keyboards, and I will type a bunch of characters and tell you what they're called. And ideally, you'll pause this recording every now and then and try to find all those characters on your keyboard, because not every keyboard is the same. Some of them might be easy for you to find, some of them might be hard. But all the characters you'll see in this recording are important characters to know. We'll start with the easy characters, so the regular characters from the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And then we have the exact same letters in uppercase, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And then we have the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we have some mathematical symbols: equals, plus, minus, times, division, and the modulus operator. We'll learn what that does. Often used are parentheses, and when I open a parentheses, a closing one appears automatically, so that was convenient. Similarly, when I open a bracket, those are also important in C, a closing bracket appears automatically, but I could type something in between if I wanted to. Also, when I type a quotation mark, a closing quotation mark appears automatically, because typically when you open quotation marks, you also need a closing quotation mark. Similarly, when I open a single quote, another single quote appears as a closing single quote. Now, when I open a curly brace, things look a little different. It looks like the closing brace didn't really appear automatically. But watch what happens when I hit the return character. When I hit return, a closing brace appears underneath, but what's more, an empty line appeared where I can type indented text. So it automatically indented itself. we have characters such as the pound sign. The ampersand character is an important one. We have the forward slash. We have a backslash. That can be hard to find on the keyboard. Be sure you know where that is. Then we have a vertical bar. That's also sometimes called a pipe character. We have the less than sign and the greater than sign. Those are also sometimes called angular brackets, and we can put something in between those angular brackets, and we'll see that very soon in our first programs. And finally, there are the more common characters like the exclamation mark and the colon and the semicolon, the comma, the question mark, the period, the tilde symbol, the underscore, and the dollar sign. So be sure you know how to find all of these characters on your keyboard. Try to insert extra lines in this recording and type all the characters that I just typed so you know how to find all of these characters on your own keyboard.
All programmers know the famous Hello World program. But what is it? It's a computer program that simply displays Hello World to the screen.
In all programming languages, this is typically the first example that you will run. It helps you understand the very basics of the particular programming language you're learning.
Guess who invented Hello World? It was Brian Kernighan, a Canadian computer scientist who worked at Bell Laboratories with the two creators of the C programming language, Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie.
Brian Kernighan and Dennis Ritchie co-wrote the first book on the C programming language in 1978. Here's how the book begins. The only way to learn a new programming language is to write programs with it. The first program to write is the same for all languages. Display the two words, hello, world.
What follows in the book is interesting because he confesses that to run this program is much harder than expected. One must create the program text somewhere, the source code, compile it correctly, load it into memory, run it, and then find where the result is displayed.
This is still true today, but for you, the learners in this MOOC on C programming, we have simplified these steps a bit. You will have an online editor to enter the program, buttons for each of the necessary steps, compile, load, and run the code, and finally, visualization modules that will display the output of the program and other interesting features like what's happening with variables. You will learn about variables too.
Now it is your turn to use these tools and create your first computer program in the C programming language.
Hey, so let's write the first Hello World program. Don't be afraid, you'll see special characters and many things that you will not understand quite well now, but we'll see them into details more further in the course. So here we start with a pound sign, include, and then the opening angular bracket, stdio.h, and then we close the bracket here, and then int main parenthesis. As you can see, when I type the opening parenthesis, I have a closing parenthesis automatically that is written by the editor, and then void. And then I go to the end of the line and I type the opening brace. When I will type the enter key, the closing brace will be automatically written by the editor also, as you can see here, and I can write the instruction print F to print something in the terminal, and then opening a parenthesis, opening a quote, and within these quotes I will write hello world. So as you can see here, I have automatically the closing quote and the closing parenthesis, and the only thing I need to put is a semicolon at the end of the line to say this is the end of the instruction. So we have a printf instruction to print something in the terminal, and then I go with a new line that says return space 0 semicolon, and that's the hello world. As you can see here, the printf and the return, they are a few spaces before. That's for clarity. It's for to have a clear vision of the code, and we'll go further into more details in the next codecast. So now I have to compile and execute the code. So I hit the compile button, and then I hit the run button. And in the terminal, you can see, hello world, that was your first program. You can try to modify it and put, for example, your name and say, hello, your name. Try it right now.
You may have already noticed that different parts of our code appear in different colors on your screen. So for example, the word main has a different color from the word int. The number 0 here has a different color. Things that are in quotation marks show up in a different color. Printf shows up in one color, the same color every time it shows up. All these different colors are part of the syntax highlighting that the editor does for you, and it's meant to be helpful in coding. You can, for example, see if you made a mistake if a color appears incorrect. For now it might look confusing, but you will see very soon how syntax highlighting can really help you in your programming. We would like to introduce you to some basic computer vocabulary. First of all, the computer is an object that is made up of hardware components: a processor to do the math, a hard disk to store information, memory, also called RAM, to run applications, and peripherals: keyboard, mouse, screen, printer, and so forth.
But the hardware alone does not make up the whole computer. In addition, we have software to instruct the hardware components what to do. Software is basically computer code that runs on the computer and includes the operating system, as well as all the applications installed on the computer.
Hardware and software work together hand in hand, ideally, to provide services to users or to solve problems. In order to be able to provide these services, application developers, those who create the software, create so-called algorithms.
An algorithm is a sequence of instructions, pretty much like a cooking recipe. It provides a set of steps to follow in order to achieve a desired result. Well, a program is an algorithm that is implemented, written, in a certain programming language, for example, a C programming language.
Just as in a cooking recipe we typically start by looking at the ingredients, a program typically needs input data that is supposed to be processed in some form. Next, a cooking recipe shows a set of steps to be performed in order to prepare and cook the ingredients. Similarly, a computer program contains computer code that represents a sequence of commands to be executed in order to process the input data. In the kitchen, we hopefully end up with a tasty dish. Similarly, the program hopefully creates the desired output.
So altogether, we start with input data to a program, process this data with the algorithm, and end up with output data. We often simply speak of program input and program output.
So now you're able to identify and name the different components of a computer.